the challenger.
Tough when you don't know who you're going to face.
Absolutely it is.
I love it.
From Chino, California, weighing 274 pounds, the Machine, Brian Cage.
Brian Cage answering the Jet Kevin Knight's open challenge for the TNT Championship. I understand our colleague Renee Paquette standing by at ringside.
He's back. It has been 14 long months since we've seen the Machine, Brian Cage, and prior to his injuries, he had back-to-back victories, now looking to make up for lost time and bring that TNT Championship back to the Don Callis family. I did not get a word with him, but I can confirm he is somehow more jacked, more locked in. We may have a new TNT champion here tonight.
Yes, Brian Cage definitely has been working out in his absence. He's been to the gym a few times.
As a man that you have quite a bit of history with, Brian Cage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm proud of that history. Brian Cage was an FTW champion. Brian Cage, part of Team Taz. He's the Machine for a reason. Kevin Knight is about to get dethroned.
Yeah, Kevin needs to stick and move. You know, Brian Cage is unbelievable. The size of this man, and I don't think hitting him in the chest is going to work.
And if you've joined AEW since Brian Cage was out with injury, he is a very special kind of athlete, Taz. A potent combination of power, inventiveness, and speed.
Absolutely, he really is. I mean, for a guy with the size and pure muscle mass he has, he's a freak athlete. He's always been that type of athlete. And as we know, Kevin Knight, the TNT champion, is also a great athlete.
And Kevin Knight, though, unable to take Brian Cage off of his feet.
Well, I think Knight doesn't have a game plan. To my point before we saw it was Brian Cage. He didn't know he was facing Brian Cage. That's the toughest thing. You don't know who you're going to face.
I think one of the good game plans will be not to run at him.
Oh, Cage extends that big thrust kick. Brian Cage, of course, a former Ring of Honor World Television Champion. And he wants to do what Samoa Joe, Adam Cole, Kyle Fletcher, Tommaso Ciampa has done and parlay that Ring of Honor World Television Championship into a TNT Championship here in AEW, and perhaps is on the verge of doing so tonight as he answers this open challenge, this return from injury.
That's a great point, Excalibur. You look at a man who, when he first arrived at Double or Nothing in 2020, won that casino ladder match. And he hasn't looked back. 87 wins in his career since then.
And I'm the guy who brought him in. Me.
Okay, me. You did, Taz.
Well, Taz, you brought him in, but right now, Brian Cage, though, his allegiance is with the Don Callis family.
And that's the right move. That's a great job that he is aligned with Don Callis. I agree with that.
Hey, speaking of Don Callis, we now know the gentlemen who are going to be involved in the Stadium Stampede match on both sides. There you see him right there. Oh. Am I wrong, or was Andrade El Idolo didn't seem to be on board with all this during that last interview?
Yeah, a little bit. He's a little tough to read, though, but I get your drift.
I think Andrade, if it was up to him, he'd be challenging for the AEW World Championship at Double or Nothing, but it is out of his hands as Brian Cage sending Kevin Knight into the corner. Cage answers. Big clothesline in the corner.
Brian Cage looks like he just got off a stage.
Right.
Competing in a massive international bodybuilding show. I'm not kidding, man. Renee's right. He looks more jacked than ever.
Kevin Knight hangs on to the ropes. Pulls up short. Cage out to the floor. Back up to the apron, but Kevin Knight puts him back down with a drop kick.
Good quickness by Knight, Tony.
Yeah, and one of the things that has made Brian Cage so special is a guy his size that can move and do the things that he can do that no one else can for a man his size. Look at that. It didn't even go down.
Just shrugged off Kevin Knight.
Oh, God.
And Knight's momentum carried him over the Machine, and now Brian Cage drives Knight face first into the ring apron. This open challenge for the TNT Championship continues as Dynamite rolls on. The most dangerous challenge to Kevin Knight's title just yet. Oh! Now Cage,
he's always innovative. He's got the win here.
Lateral press, and Knight able to kick out. Knight's made 3 successful defenses of that TNT Championship before. Claudio Castagnoli, MJF, and the cold-hearted handsome devil Hook. But right now, he is having the most difficulty of his reign thus far with the Machine Brian Cage.
No doubt, and we knew he would once we saw Cage come out from the entrance.
Brian Cage, oh no, Kevin Knight slips behind.
Good counter by Knight.
Back elbow, Cage tosses Knight into the ropes. Knight pops up, and Cage went to deposit
the Goulds of Cage's neck there in that top rope.
Yeah, just held on, just simply held on.
Kevin Knight, springboard, and the drop kick for the Jet.
And that's what Kevin needs right there to slow down that arsenal, that offensive attack by the Machine. But can Kevin capitalize?
This TNT Championship match continues. Remember, fans, still to come tonight, we will announce the brackets for the 2026 Owen Hart Foundation men's and women's tournaments. The action will kick off at Double or Nothing. It will conclude at Forbidden Door later this summer. And the winners of both the men's and women's tournaments will earn a shot at the AEW Men's World Championship, AEW Women's World Championship at All in London, coming up on the 30th of August at Wembley Stadium, where we make our return later on this summer. You can scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen for a chance to join us at the Cathedral of Football, and for one more night, the Cathedral of Professional Wrestling in London.
Well, Brian Cage got a little overzealous, and Kevin Knight ducked and slipped a lot of his punches, and I think Knight is going to be the Jet and fly like one.
Oh, my God. Second time that Kevin Knight's tried this, Taz.
Oh, yeah.
Both times missed. Oh, wow.
Kevin Knight, though, reversing Cage into the steel ring steps.
Those poor steps.
And now Knight charging and leaps and takes Brian Cage down.
That was just perseverance by Kevin Knight. It looked like he was going to hit those steps, but he just stayed with it, used his legs to get the advantage.
But Taz, taking Brian Cage off his feet is not something Kevin Knight's been able to do consistently here in this match.
Right, correct. And the thing is, you've got to try when a guy has that size advantage. Oh, God. Wow. The hell is this? What is he doing out here, Bailey? Get him back in the back. I know he just wrestled. Get him in the back.
Lance Archer is about to intervene in this match. Speedball Mike Bailey caught him with the thrust kick, but Brian Cage is a machine.
Vintage Brian Cage right there.
Unbelievable.
Foreleg is hooked. Do we have a new champ? No!
Excalibur, you've called so many of Cage's matches early in his career. Oh, look at this!
Archer trying to choke slam on Speedball Brian Cage. Well, Archer gets taken out on the floor once again by Speedball. Meanwhile, Kevin Knight trying to take advantage of the momentary distraction. Discus lariat leapt over by the Jet. DDT landing flush. Cover made, leg is hooked, and no, now Brian Cage's turn to kick out.
Brian Cage being out of action for how many months, like so long, and still having this type of a matchup with a guy who's been on a full-time schedule, the TNT champion, Kevin Knight.
Yeah, just about a year and 2 months away from the ring for Brian Cage, but oh, Kevin Knight
lost it. He didn't have it all.
Got hung upside down. Brian Cage just dragging Kevin Knight up from the mat.
Oh, my God.
Freaking animal.
Incredible power.
Oh, my God, this is bad.
Knight able to reverse it.
Man, give both men credit. What a heck of a title match we've got in front of us. Brian Cage has not lost a step.
But the Jet Kevin Knight with the USO splash. 1, 2, 3.
Here is your winner and still TNT champion, the Jet, Kevin Knight.
Kevin Knight earned every bit of that victory to defend his TNT championship.